Okay, so I haven't done a video in a while, but I was inspired to make a video about this because I had some thoughts about it, and I don't think anybody's really addressed it, at least in any meaningful way. So, here we go. So if you haven't been living in a cave for the past year or so, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice released a few weeks ago. It received terrible critical reviews, a big drop-off in box office revenue after opening night, but a lot of positive user reviews. And in response, I'm not going to say that this is the evidence of the stupidity of general audience or that critics just don't get it, but I think people are approaching this from a completely different point of view. I think that dissonance is really interesting because it shows a distinct difference between critiquing a movie or any art piece and something that's part of a larger fandom. BVS is the latest and clearest example of this, but really we can go all the way back to the early 2000s to see it with the Star Wars prequels. See, it's been over 10 years now, so people seem to have generally accepted that they're not good movies. Nevertheless, there are still some people who like them, which is fine, and some people who actively defend them. It's a little weird to me because your enjoyment of something doesn't have to depend on whether everyone else does, but I digress. One of the issues that I realized even back when I watched Revenge of the Sith, generally held as the best of the prequels, was that moviegoers would have no idea who General Grievous was without watching the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series on TV before the movies. As predicted, Grievous had no introduction in the movie whatsoever, but had a larger presence in the expanded universe of cartoons, comics, and games. The same happened to a more ridiculous extent with Darth Maul, who in the movie was nothing more than a gimmicky lightsaber and interesting design, but was expanded upon a lot in books and comics. Despite the fact that he has one line in the movie, he's an odd fan favorite. Movie critics don't look at the expanded universe. They judge a movie on its own merits. Fans don't just see a movie, they see a big mainstream manifestation of something that they love. What Revenge of the Sith was trying to encourage, was encourage and reward its audience for watching the cartoon show. It was saying, do you want to understand this? Go consume our merchandise. I haven't read them, but from what I understand, the novelizations of those movies, and largely the expanded media surrounding the Star Wars prequels, are examples of writers trying their best to give character to characters that don't have any, and help make the universe make sense where the movie doesn't necessarily. So there's nothing wrong with an Easter egg. It is good to reward your fans with a little reference that only they might understand. It's something else when it actually derails the plot of the movie. Fans are a lot more forgiving of this because they'll be able to make up for the lack of information presented by the movie with their knowledge already going into the movie. They know who General Grievous is. Fast forward to BVS. From what I can tell, a lot of the response against critics has been, how can you not understand this? Because critics have generally seemed to call it incomprehensible. This is because critics aren't primed to already know what Lex Luthor's motivations are. Fans will know from the animated series and the comics that Luthor is motivated by complex themes like jealousy of Superman stealing his spotlight, that his earned achievements are eclipsed by an alien who was born with his powers. But the movie may not communicate that well, and that's the issue. I actually still haven't seen Batman vs Superman, and honestly I'm not that interested to. This video isn't really about the movie, just about the reaction to it, which is really interesting to me. Entertainment today is so tied in with expanded universe and interwoven with different media that this sort of response is inevitable. It's not just about the movie anymore to a lot of people. When you're part of a big fan franchise, your product is supported by and represents everything in it. And I'm not sure that people, both critics and fans, entirely understand that.